Food writer Megan Kimble wanted to live a healthier, more natural life. So, she did the unthinkable and completely unprocessed her daily diet. But how did she do it? Megan will show us how you too can unprocess your life.
My name is Megan Kimble. I'm the editor of Edible Baja, Arizona, a local food magazine based here in Tucson. I'm also the author of Unprocessed, my city-dwelling year of reclaiming real food. So I'd read what many of us have read about our destructive food system, how terrible it is for our soils, for our water, for our climate. And I wondered, what can I do? What can any one of us do to impact our food system? And for me, the answer was to stop eating processed food. And I did that for a year. A lot of my year was spent sort of figuring out the parameters of what makes food processed. Because of course, all food is processed. Cooking is a kind of process, so is fermenting. So what I had to decide was, where do I draw the line? So for me, a food was unprocessed if I could theoretically make it in my home kitchen. So for example, I took wheat berries and I had a little hand crank grain grinder and I ground them up into whole grain flour and I baked bread. So that for me was unprocessed. It's a process that humans have been doing for thousands of years, and for the most part it's been really good for our human nutrition. I couldn't take that whole grain flour a step further and process it into refined white flour because I would have needed chemicals, I would have needed some sort of industrial processing mechanism. And so I didn't eat refined white flour. Same for sugar. I ate honey, which can be harvested by a beekeeper in his or her backyard. I didn't eat refined cane sugar, which requires an incredible amount of processing to get it to our plates. So that meant that I couldn't buy chocolate in the store. And I love chocolate. There was no way that I was going to go a year without eating chocolate, so I decided to learn how to make my own. It's really actually very simple. You can get cocoa butter, cocoa powder, and honey, and mix it up and temper it in different ways and make your own homemade chocolate. And it's really delicious, and there's a satisfaction that comes from it's kind of magical when you get to make your own chocolate out of these disparate ingredients. So it certainly impacted how I felt. The biggest thing that I noticed is maybe a little bit counterintuitive, but I felt more full. When you're eating butter and whole grain bread and vegetables and cheeses, you're satisfied. And so I found myself snacking less and I had a lot more energy. My digestion improved because I wasn't eating sorts of crazy chemicals. So I certainly felt a lot better. The first thing I always say to people who want to eat more unprocessed or less processed food is to read the ingredient label on every single food you buy. So once you start looking at ingredient labels, you're going to wonder, why is that in my food? What is soy lecithin and what is it doing in this food that I consume? When you're reading ingredient labels, you'll start to see words that you don't recognize, and there's a wonderful app called Chemical Cuisine. It's published by the Center for Science and the Public Interest. They also have it published a hard copy form of it. And you can look up ingredients and additives in our food, and they do a really great science-based ranking of additives that are very harmful for human health and additives that are either not researched or have been shown to be not harmful for human health. And so that gives you a sort of an array of options to arm yourself with information about what additives have been shown to cause cancer and what are somewhat harmless. The second thing is, once you're reading the ingredient labels of all the foods that you purchase, is to purchase foods without ingredient labels. So fresh fruits and vegetables, items with only one ingredient, so oats, milk, yogurt, things that only have one thing in them and that you can come home and mix up yourself. So I think pre-sweetened foods are a great culprit for added sugar in our diets, and so stop buying any foods that are pre-sweetened. Take it home and sweeten it yourself. Chances are you're going to add significantly less sugar than that food company would have added for you. So the two things I always tell people are, read every ingredient label on the food you're buying and buy foods without ingredient labels.
Megan just gave us a roadmap towards an unprocessed life. Try out her methods and let us know if it's working for you. As a thank you for watching this vid, we've got 2 free gifts just for you. Be sure to click the link in the description below to get your free copy of the new book, Superfoods for Diabetics. And gain access to view episode 1 of the 8-part series, That Diabetes Documentary. Become part of the Diabetes Smarts community by hitting the like button and by subscribing to our channel. Diabetes Smarts is your online go-to for all the latest diabetes fighting knowledge. Thanks for watching. Have a happy and healthy day.